Greetings from North Texas. So I'm on the road today, but I wanted to talk about, well, the Pixel 9 Pro XL. I've been using it for 4 days now, primary SIM card in here and all that jazz. And so far I've been really impressed with it. I've enjoyed using it. I'm recording from it right now. So this is kind of like not only a video test, it's a microphone test, a network test, which I did a speed test while I was up here. And I'm getting about 250 megabits per second out in the middle of nowhere, which is pretty good with T-Mobile. I tested it side by side with my iPhone 15 Pro Max on AT&T, and it was getting just over 300 megabits per second. But both of them, I think, are really good. One of the biggest concerns folks have had with this phone, or the Pixel phones in general the last couple of years, is the antenna. The modem. Is it any better? Yes, it does seem to be better. I didn't have any significant issues with the previous ones, but the new, I believe it's the Exynos 5400 modem that came out earlier this year, that is what's in the phone now. So the modem, I've been having good experience with it so far. Downloads, connectivity, signal, phone calls, all that stuff. So, I mean, me and my wife, we came up here to visit my grandma. Her 86th birthday was a couple days ago. So, happy birthday, Mama. And it gave me a good time on the road to test this out. Some of the things I want to talk about in this video are things that I really enjoy with the phone. I mean, if you buy the phone, you hopefully have some things to talk about. The screen, I absolutely love the screen on here. This 3000 nits brightness maximum, fantastic. Even though I don't have mine on auto brightness, which, just food for thought, you have to have it on auto brightness for it to do the peak brightness. But what's fantastic about it is they call it HBM. It's high max brightness. I don't know why it's not HMB. Is 2000 nits. So if you have it on manual mode and you turn it up, you'll get 2000 nits, which is about as bright as most other phones get on high max brightness. So take a look at the iPhone 15 Pro Max, for example, goes to 2000. That's on max. So having a maximum manual brightness that high is really, really good. So I love the screen, the actual super actual display, whatever they call it, their fancy words. Looks great, very responsive. The haptic feedback on it is fantastic. Google Pixel phones have been known for having some of the best, if not the best haptics, so haptics are fantastic. That is great. Really been enjoying typing on it, doing anything. And I'm going to say something that's going to probably make some people mad, but it feels like you're using an iPhone, but better, because it's not an iPhone, right? So if people were looking to switch over to an iPhone, then this is probably the phone to do it, because it has a lot of look, a lot of the similar feel. And if it weren't for the dynamic island cutout on the iPhone, when these two phones are sitting face up, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. So if you haven't flipped over, of course, you can easily tell by the camera bumps. But yeah, it feels and looks like an iPhone, which, if you care about that, then, I mean, I know some people are not crazy about that, but if you're going to copy something, do a good job, and that's what it feels like. But it's not an iPhone, so it makes me happy. So I really enjoyed using it. The Tensor 4 has been fine. I've not had any heat issues whatsoever on like day-to-day stuff. I mean, I haven't had any issues, period, but I haven't done any high-level gaming or anything like that. I've been super busy traveling, all that stuff. I haven't been able to sit down and like try out Warzone or anything. I'm going to test out some of that stuff to see if it makes much of a difference. We do have the vapor chamber now, so that's something that'll help out with the heat. The Tensor G4 itself is supposed to be better at heat, over a 3 gigahertz processor. So it should be perfectly fine at gaming. I don't see why there should be any issues. And then, of course, 120 hertz refresh rate, throttles all the way down to 1 hertz, the LTPO display. So Google nailed it with the display on here. Of course, 5,000 milliamp battery. That's pretty much standard for big flagships. So good in that department. 16 gigs of RAM. It's been super smooth. Like, I haven't had any issues at all. And it feels smoother and faster than my iPhone, which, of course, you know, animations and all that stuff, whatever. I know there are differences between the operating systems and how they work, but been a nice experience. I can't wait for Android 15, and that's something that I'm waiting for, because, of course, it came with Android 14, kind of one of the dings against it. There are a few dings, of course, right? We don't have Android 15 yet. It's only 128 gigabytes of storage. Like, those are things that people are not too crazy about. So still waiting for that. Probably won't be around until October, but we'll probably find out more about that. It did just recently go into beta. So if you're in the beta program, you can, of course, opt in and use the beta and test it on your phone now. So that's always one of the bonuses with the Google program. Very easy to opt in and out of the beta. And what else? Fingerprint scanner. So one thing, so I'm using an AM film, that's the brand, tempered glass screen protector on here. Just something so you know. Whenever you register your fingerprint and there's no screen protector, it works really well. This ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, super fast, accurate. I love it. It's really good. But if you put a glass screen protector on it, or any screen protector in particular, it might impact the accuracy. So what I recommend doing is go into the display settings, turn on the sensitivity, like screen protector mode, so it makes it more sensitive, and then re-register your fingerprints after you set up the fingerprint scanner. After you put the screen protector on, and that should alleviate some of those issues. The facial recognition is very good. It's very fast, but it's still not good in low light. If it's in low light, it's still not very good at all. So that's going to be a limitation that you have there. Just be aware of that. If you've experienced it with the previous ones, then you know what I'm talking about. But fortunately, I don't even use facial recognition. I'm not a big fan of it. I usually don't have it turned on. I do it when I initially set up the phone and I'm testing it out so I can see how good it is. But I prefer to just use the regular fingerprint scanner. So I like that. But yeah, the not so good even in low light. And hopefully the audio on here is good. I don't have a microphone. This is the built-in audio. I am using the speech enhancement. So normally I record 4K 60 frames per second. If you do 24 or 30 frames per second, you can use the speech enhancement, which should hopefully filter out the noise and make it sound better. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to test this out and record with this phone. Like normally I record with my iPhone. I'm like, you know what? Let me test this out. So I'm recording 4K 30 frames per second using the speech enhancement on here. So I think that'll be better and it'll probably turn out pretty good. But overall, I've really been enjoying the phone for everything I do casually and normal usage. I'm getting all day battery. I'm waiting for the adaptive battery to kick in. And just so you know, with Android, it does this whole adaptive battery thing. It takes about a week to kick in, usually 5 to 7 days. And it learns your patterns, learns how you use the phone, what kind of can turn on and turn off to optimize the battery life for it. So I am not a big fan of people who are like, oh yeah, I've had it for 1 day, this is my battery life. That's the first 2 days, you're going to get the worst battery of your life because it's optimizing, you're downloading, you're installing, you're setting up, you're using it probably more than you normally would because it's a cool new toy to play with. So the adaptive battery takes about 5 to 7 days to kick in. So just wait for that. You'll get the best battery life at that point, and we can go from there. Speakers are good. No complaints there. I've been enjoying using the speakers with it too. So overall, I think that I said this before the phone came out or even after it came out, it's the best Google phones that they've ever made. I mean, it's designed well. It's the best build quality, the best screen, the best of all things. And I know some people still have heartburn about the Tensor, but it does what it's supposed to. And I think it does what it's supposed to well. And that's one of the things that Google was talking about. They actually made a statement about it because so many people complain because the benchmarks are lower, but not everything in life is about benchmarks. You've got plenty of power, plenty of sophistication here to do everything, and the phone is designed to do things other phones aren't designed to do. I mean, it'll process 45 tokens per second whenever it comes to AI, which is just putting that into perspective. I have a brand new laptop with like a Ryzen 9 AI model chip with 32 gigs of RAM, and it'll do, I think, 50 tokens per second. And this phone can do 45. So with the amount of power it has and the power plant, the battery, everything that's designed in this phone, the fact that this phone can do that many AI tokens per second is pretty incredible. And it does have the AI stuff. Video boost is twice as fast as it used to be. There are some quality of life improvements in that area across the board. And yeah, you can do the Pixel Studio and all that stuff. You can make your own images, and you can make images look. I've got a buddy, check him out. His channel is Mark's Tech, and he's been making a bunch of video comparisons or picture comparisons. And he took a picture and he added like a whole beach to it. So, and it looked pretty lifelike. Like you couldn't even tell. So you can do some pretty crazy stuff with the AI. I did try to use the Add Me feature the other day. It didn't work so well. I was sitting at a table. Apparently it doesn't like low light, but I came up here to eat. Well, not to eat, but I mean, I eat, right? I came up here to visit my grandma for her birthday, and our family went out to go eat at Cracker Barrel, and they're like, oh, here, let me take a picture. And then someone's like, oh, I wish I could be in the picture too. So I was like, I've got a solution for this. We'll use the Add Me feature with the Pixel 9 Pro XL, and it didn't really work out. We tried 2 or 3 times, and we had kind of a close group at the table, but it was giving me issues with the lighting and things like that. And I think there was some operator error on my wife's part, but she's not here right now, so we can talk about that. But who knows? Maybe she screwed it up. I'll have to test it out more later, but it wasn't as helpful as I thought it was going to be. But anyway, yeah, I've been using it for 4 days now, really enjoying it, having a great time with this phone. And if you're interested in one, I don't think you can really go wrong with it. I think it's pretty good so far. It seems to be getting some pretty positive accolades across the board for most folks, but yeah, this is kind of a three-pronged thing. I wanted to go ahead and make a video about this, kind of talk about an update with my usage. And one other thing, by default, the battery life shows normal battery life, right? It'll tells you like, oh, it's got a day and 2 hours left of your battery life. You can go into the settings, go to battery, turn on the option for percentage. So I'm very happy to have that on there. But one cool thing is, I'm sitting here, I've been recording for over 10 minutes. The phone is cool as a cucumber. If I were doing this with my iPhone, it would have already started shutting features off because of overheating, even though I'm sitting in an air-conditioned car. Like the iPhone, terrible heat issues. And it's one thing that irks me so much because people are like, oh, heat issues with this or heat issues with that, or the Google Pixel phones get hot. No, the iPhone gets hot, and it has serious issues with that. So anyway, I'm going to sign off for now. Hopefully I enjoyed this. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, gripes, complaints, whatever, you know where to go. Find your keyboard, you won't miss. And if you have any, if you enjoy the video, all that stuff, love the Pixel videos, hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, especially while I've been sitting in this Tesla. Let me know in the comments, how is the video quality, how is the audio quality, all that stuff, because this is the built-in microphone, built-in camera, natural lighting, everything. So let me know if it's any good, and I'll see you guys next time. Whoop, almost dropped it.